Like, when are we dating? When are we not dating? I'm confused. I don't understand. He's doing all these things for me, but we're kind of in this middle stage. And we're on, I would say, we're going to have a little story time. Hey, fam, welcome to the Co-Life. We, want to talk about something that's just been on our chest.
Let's talk about it. Please pause, take a moment, like, comment, and subscribe on our channel so you can be a part of our family and see all the stuff that we're talking about and have some good conversation.
I want to start off by saying that, again, we haven't done this in 10 years, but we do want to just share. I think that what I've experienced when it comes to my friends and us, we constantly talk about the dating scene right now. We constantly talk about what's different versus what was, back, what was going on back then. And I just feel like what I want to share is just levels of dating. Some of the things that we did wrong, because we talked about our how we met video. We, kind of talked about our engagement. We did all these things, but we didn't really talk about some of the mistakes that we made. And I would say, I feel like the number one thing that we've seen has been an issue is just understanding the time frame of things. Like, when are we dating? When are we not dating? I'm confused. I don't understand. He's doing all these things for me, but we're kind of in this middle stage. And we're on, I would say, we're going to have a little story time.
Let's commence with the story, okay? So you all know that I'm kind of like a somewhat of a grand gesture type of dude, right? We talked about the proposal. We talked about how I asked her to be my girlfriend. And those things were not like small things. Mm-hmm. So rewind, and this is the summer of, right after freshman year of college.
Yeah.
It was the last day of summer before I head back to U of M, and she goes to school. So I wanted to maximize. I want to do something nice for her and do something special because we cared about each other. Keep in mind, we're only friends at this point.
Yeah.
We are not dating. We are not dating.
Get that part.
We're not dating. I proceed to say, hey, I planned out the day. Don't worry about it. Just come with me. I got a plan. So I pick her up, and we start just traveling throughout the day. Just having a fun day. And we go to Starbucks, then we go to the park, then we go over to here, then we go over to there. And we're traveling to all these different little spots. And so at the very end, we go to our favorite park. And I get her down by...
Actually, it wasn't our favorite park at the time. This was the first time he took me to this park.
Was it the first time?
It was one of the first times.
Oh, it's our favorite park now. It's where I proposed.
Yeah.
Now.
And he took me to this. I mean, I've never seen this park before, and I've lived around this area for years, and I haven't seen this park. It was so beautiful. Had a lake, had a boardwalk. It was so pretty. It was so nice.
I've been handing her a letter for each place that we visit in an envelope. So I put a letter in it. Like, one letter was S, then there was a P, then there was an I, and there was an E. And so she's getting letters throughout the day, and she's like, what are these letters? I forgot about that.
You did that.
So I take her down to the river, and I give her the last letter. And I say, okay, I want you to spread all the letters out. And so she puts all the letters out, and I was like, all right, they spell a word. You have to figure out what word it is.
So it took me a while to figure out the word.
Let's clarify a while.
It took me a little while to figure, because I kind of got a little blurb of how to spell surprise. So, but anyway, I was trying. You just
gave it away to them. It's spelled surprise.
Yes. So it spelled surprise. I got a little, whatever about it. Each letter had a representation of how he sees me. So S represented something. U represented something. Each letter represented something that he appreciate about me, or he felt about me. Now you think about it. Let's be real.
Let's rewind. We are not dating.
But you think about it, and you were not dating, but you could tell he's feeling me. He did all these things for me. You would think that this would be something, and so. He was going off to college, and we were in our fields. I didn't kiss you.
No, we had not kissed.
Because I was still on my ground that what?
Not dating. When I care about someone, especially a woman that I care about, and I am romantically attracted to, I do things like that. Like, it's in my nature to do that.
Yes.
It's not, and let's clarify this. This may actually sound like, this may sound weird, but it wasn't Lexi that necessarily cause me to become like that. That was just who I was.
Yes.
That's the type of person I am.
Mm-hmm.
Lexi made me want to do above and beyond and like do these things for her to an extent, but it was just a part of just who I was. Like if I was dating someone else, I would do those type of things with them because I have done that for other girls that I care about.
And I would say it's not even just like your romantic side. You do that for people in general. Like Brian is a go big, go home person. So with that being said, it did cause us to be in some sort of relationship, and we started to progress. We were not dating, but we started to do things that acted like we were dating. You know, we were kissing, we were together, we were holding hands.
So keep in mind, if any of you remember our story of how we met, this is the time frame that God had individually told us to not date anyone, to not get into a relationship. So Lex and I were feeling each other, but we were not dating, and we were not supposed to be dating.
Right.
So we started to almost pseudo date because we're like, well, we're not putting a title on it. We're not dating. We're not in a relationship. We're doing all these physical things that were indicative of being in a relationship.
Right.
We were talking about how much we wanted to be in a relationship together, but we knew we couldn't right now.
Right.
And we just crossed we crossed that friendship boundary way too fast.
I started to gain a lot of feelings. I think we both started to, have feelings for each other. But the mistake that I made was that he did not say that we were dating. So if you look back on how we met, I said, I love you first. And he was like, I'm not there yet.
She said, I'm in love with you. And I was like, I'm not there yet.
I'm not there yet.
And I was like, I'm going to be. I'm just not there right now.
Now, whose fault was that? Or is it both? Why you say that?
Because I feel that it was way too early to, even if you were in love with me, it was too early to express that. We were not even in a relationship yet. We weren't even in a relationship yet.
Yeah.
And she said she loved me, and I eventually said I'm in love with you when I asked her to be my girlfriend. Because the reality was I was in love with her at that time, but I was not going to say that. Because I didn't want to say that until we were in a relationship.
And this is a conversation because we talked about it before where I don't think it was bad that I said it. Because in my mind, it is the truth. And I think that's what people get confused, or they wonder like, well, if I'm feeling some type of way, do I share? Should I share it? And in my mind, I'm like, well, I'm feeling this type of way. I'm going to let you know. Here's the difference. And this is where you tell me if this difference. We should not have been doing it in general, being
that
acting
emotionally
and leading
involved.
that emotionally
Right.
involved if we're not going to date. I think that's on both of us.
Right, absolutely.
But I also think that now I have a decision to make. Am I going to treat him the same? Because now he's not there. And he had to remind me that we weren't in a relationship, which caused me that, and I would say that was my mistake, that I actually said I actually let my feelings get to that point where he never said that we were going to be in a relationship. He never said we was going to be married. He never said any of those things.
I said I wanted those things.
He said he wanted those things.
Wanting something means nothing until action supports it. But I think this actually may be one of the things that Lex and I disagree on a little bit, because in my personal opinion, I don't care if you are in love. If you're not even in a relationship, you don't need to be saying that to anybody. That's my personal opinion, that you do not need to be telling a boy that you're in love with him, or a girl that you're in love with her, if there is not some level of commitment. I'm not even talking about marriage, fiance, just some level of commitment.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's
I think there was a misleading with our relationship.
That's fair.
So I wouldn't do that. I agree with you, but I felt like there was more of a misleading because everything around was talking like, it was like, I want to be this, I want to do that. And you said that you were in love with me then.
Right.
And I felt that.
I just didn't say it.
But I didn't say it. But I do agree that there is a readjustment. So after he said that, and after he did that, regardless of how hurt I felt, I was very mad that I got to that place. I had to readjust. And not readjust in a sense like, oh, I'm never going to talk to him again. I can't believe it, blah, blah, blah. You set boundaries. Period.
And she set the boundaries. There was a point where I was like, oh shoot, I might actually lose her.
I'm gonna be honest, girls. I started talking to other guys.
Because here's the deal. we told this in another story, but God released her from this season of not dating, but he didn't release me yet. So I'm like, I felt like my hands were tied. I'm like, I can't like officially ask you to be my girl until God releases me from this season. But yet she's like, well, you're not in love with me and you're not making a move. You're not taking action. She's like, I understand if God's telling you not to do it, then that's fine.
Absolutely.
But she said, here's a key. I'm not going to wait for you just because I like you and you like me and we have feelings.
Yes.
I'm going to keep living my life until there's some commitment, right? And I'm talking about commitment, not marriage. She's not talking about put a ring on it, but just if you're not my boyfriend and I'm not your girlfriend and there's not a level of established relationship, I'm not waiting for you.
Yep.
Life moves on because there is no guarantee that in however long it takes of time that you will still even want to be with me. You will make the decision to be with me, and I'm just wasting my life just sitting around twiddling my thumbs for you.
Right.
And you know what? I applaud her for it because that was one of the most attractive things that turned me on. I was like, listen, that is a beautiful thing when a woman is strong like that and can make her stand and hold her ground on something like that. It makes me want her even more. And then I was just praying at that point, like, all right, God, seriously, can you release me like now? That'd be great.
Yeah, that was a pivotal moment for me. And here's the thing. Again, the reason why we talk about this because we've had so many conversations with just our friends and people. We were the first to start really seriously dating. We were the first to get married. So a lot of our friends were single for a little while. And I would say that's been an issue of when your feelings are rising up and you start having these strong feelings for somebody and there's no commitment there, but y'all are talking like y'all are. One of the things, and maybe because I had a guy that really did grand gestures like this all the time, I had to really remind myself that, my feelings have to be in control as well. Understand that actions speak louder than words because he was doing all of these beautiful things, but actions as far as what he's saying and not doing, or what he's doing and not saying. He's doing all this stuff, but there's a reason he's not calling me his girlfriend. There's a reason that he's not trying to date me, but he wants to do all these things. I have to have consistency, and I have to make sure that this is something that is real and an actual commitment to me. I know people say like, oh, labels mean nothing, but yet there's a reason why there's not a label, there's not a title on your name.
There's always a reason. Here's where I would make a plea, I don't know, to guys, because I know from my own self and a lot of people in my circle and people that I've talked to, but guys have a tendency to mislead, and not intentionally. I think that's the key, is it's not intentional. I want to be with someone. I want to be here in life. I want to do these things, right? There's a lot of desire behind it. Or, again, you think about the type of person it was. I like to do really big things for people that I care about, right? So what I failed to do at that age, and what I try to tell other young people to be aware of, young guys, when they're dating, is like, think about what this will be interpreted or seen or defined by the woman. How is she interpreting this experience, right?
Yeah.
So if I do this grand gesture just because it's who I am and I like doing this for people and it's nice, a woman who cares about you and you're doing all of these big things for, you're trying to get that woman to fall in love with you. Like, and what's gonna happen is she's gonna fall in love head over heels, and you're emotionally gonna be like, wait, I'm not even there. Like, I like you, but I'm not even close to where you are. Now it creates this gap emotionally between the two of you of what level you're at.
Yeah.
And you have to work to readjust and get on the same page, or it won't actually end up working. A lot of times, guys don't think through what they're doing and what the consequence of that will be to a woman. Even telling them your dreams of, girl, I want to wife you. I want to have kids with you. I want to do this. I want to do that. I see a house. I see a future. I see. It's all these beautiful paintings of what the future could look like, but you don't have a plan to get there.
Yeah.
You don't really know if all those things that you want are with the woman that you're even talking to, because you're not in love with her yet, but you're painting this picture that this woman is falling in love with you.
I'm around a lot of men. I'm around a lot of guys. And a lot of single guys, actually. And I've just learned a lot for me growing up was you have to hear what men are saying. You have to hear what they're saying. And when once I made that mistake, it was like it clicked for me so easily because I watched my brothers. I watched my friends' brothers. I watched my brother's friends. I've watched so many guys just it's not I don't see it as intentionally trying to move fast, but I think that we both have different men and women have different types of emotions, and I think they can say stuff like I want to wife you, or I want to be this, I want to be that. You start talking about the future, and then you can't help but start imagining things. But once something don't seem right, it's like, oh, this ain't. I feel like guys can be like, oh, this ain't for me, and girls are like, wait, what happened? And I feel like the misleading part is what I constantly see relationships do. And hey, that may be us.
Yeah.
That may be us. But that's what we've seen.
And I think to add one more layer to it is that I don't want to make this a woman or a man thing, but like we've seen a lot of women, single women, that when a good guy comes along and treats them the right way, it's like they almost don't know how to handle it because this is a great guy and he's doing the right things. He's saying the right things. He loves God. He's this, he's that. He's taking you out to dinners. He's doing all these things. And it's almost as if women don't remember that you're valuable and you are supposed to be confident and you are supposed to be just the same level as him, right? But it's almost as if like they don't deserve this type of man and they start falling head over heels and losing their I don't know what you would call it.
I don't even think it's not that they don't deserve it. I think that they're anomalies. People see like, I'm trying to find a Christian guy. I'm trying to find a guy that does all these things for me. I'm trying to do, they have a list of things, and whether you write it down, they're in your head, and you see a guy that's doing all of this stuff, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, this
it might be it.
Because I don't see a lot of guys like you. Like, this is so different and blah, blah, blah. It almost makes it seem like this person is an anomaly. And because he's an anomaly, I'm going to be like full force. Like, I want to make sure that
That's what I'm saying.
I want to, like, I can't believe you did all this for me. Oh my goodness. I'm just so shocked. Like, I never met a man like you. And that may be true. No, I know for a fact Brian is an anomaly. I know he is. He, when I first met him, the things he were doing for me, I know that was different. I knew that was unique, but that didn't take anything away from me being an anomaly.
Yes, there we go.
It didn't take anything away from me.
That's what I'm trying to say. I couldn't get the words out.
Yes.
But that's it. Is women, you are an anomaly as well, and he needs to appreciate and fight for you. That it's the fight that I've seen.
Oh, he's
so
scooting
many.
up. He's scooting up.
It's the fight. It's the fight that the man needs to have for you because you are valued and you are an anomaly as well.
Yeah.
And so men are turned on by fighting for the woman working for the woman. We are naturally designed to work, and working for the woman is a part of what this relationship should be about. So if you make it too easy for him because he's oh so great and you're just ready to fall in love after 3 weeks of talking, then there's a problem there, because now he's like, well, that was too simple. So anything that I can get too easily means that there might not be enough value there, or the person doesn't realize their own value, and now I'm taking steps back. And I'll be the first one to say we did not handle it right. We did not handle it the way it should have been handled, but we did a lot of good things.
I immediately adjusted because I'm like, I know my worth. And not to say that women don't know their worth, but it's like you see a guy and it's this guy's everything you want, but know that you are everything he wants. And if he wants this, then he has to work at it just like every other guy. Period. I don't care who it is. Brian would never have known that I've never, like, he did all these things for me. He would have never have known that I've never experienced them.
When I do all these nice things for her, she was super appreciative. She was super grateful. She showed her gratefulness. She showed her thankfulness to me. But what she didn't do is give me a pass on all the other stuff. She was still just as straightforward, straight shooter. And like, if I didn't do certain things, she would be like, yeah, I appreciate the big things, but where are you at in the day to day? Why don't
Right.
you? I need you to do this. What I need to, like, we had, like, there was no
past.
She wasn't smitten and so romanticized with what I'm doing that she wasn't strong.
Yeah.
That girl was strong still.
And that's what I would want to talk about, is that there's levels to this. There's levels to when you start to really open up. There's levels to your heart. There's levels to okay, when you say we're together, what does that mean? The biggest thing is communicate. Like, hey, I just want to make sure we're still on the same page.
Okay, can I make a disclaimer from a guy's perspective?
Yeah.
Don't over communicate.
Right. Don't over communicate.
That's just weird.
And one of the things that you were talking about was when we were dating, I would be so thankful that you did those things, but I would have been like, this is I can't, like, no other guy has done this for me. Like, I don't want to act like that. That's not who I am. I don't want to act like that. But I said, you know what? This was beautiful. Like, I really appreciate this. Have a good night. Like, that's where we're at.
Oh, you did more thankfulness than that.
I did more thankfulness than that. But I'm saying, like, at the end of the day, like, even when you did that first thing.
But it was still, like, that was beautiful. But we still got more to do.
Yeah.
We got more work to do in our relationship.
Yeah. I just feel like sometimes we go head over heels, like, oh my gosh, like, you set the standard for so many. Like, I don't think we should do that.
If you realize that you, guy or girl, because I feel like we're making this a little gender based,
No, because this is guys and girls.
Some guys jump way too fast, and the girls are the ones that have to, set them straight.
Yes.
So either way, I think what's important is that if you realize that you are on two different levels, one of you's up here and one of you's down here, that y'all need to get on the same level.
Yes.
If this is gonna work, women or men, if your emotions are too deep into it and you're getting too close and you're the only one texting, you're the only one calling, and you're initiating everything, you need to take a step back.
Yeah.
Dial down your emotions, be able to peel it back to the level that they're at until you both progress, or it may not work out. Either way.
Yeah. Having reservation is not a bad thing. Some people say it's a game. Some people call it reservation. Whatever you feel is best. But, I'm not, if I'm just meeting you, and I may really like you, I'm not calling you all the time. You stay busy. Do something. You have to be doing something with your life in general before you even start dating. Just a quick talk about it. Like, let's talk about it. You need to have a life, and you're not stopping a life over somebody you just met.
Do not stop your life. Do not wait for him to get it together.
No.
Nah, fam.
Guard your heart and be mindful of who you let in.
We have talked about a lot of things, a lot of different dynamics.
Yeah.
I think we went down a few rabbit trails.
Yeah.
Because story time's always fun with us. We don't know where the story can go.
We're just talking.
But I believe social media has changed the dynamic of dating. It's changed how people view it, how they go about it. But I want to know, because we've been happy with each other.
Yeah.
And
I don't want to be in the game.
But I don't want to be in the game no more. So has it changed dating 10 years ago to now?
And I believe that there is good in talking with other single people, so we want to have that conversation too later on. But I think it's also good to talk about married people. Like, how did we get married? How did it happen? What did it look like? So let us know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we will check y'all out in the comments, because I'm sure y'all got a lot to say.
It's going to be good.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Because I was still on my ground that what? We were not dating.
I don't know what you're looking at.
We were not dating.
Point that finger somewhere else.